silver and copper. My grandbaby Kelly selling, you can't stop her. We selling all debts with the IRS, way over $250,000. How you feel? I change the feel. Your collects for the bill, and we going for the kill. So next year I'm selling debts with stainless steel. Say, boy, you for real? I say heck to the year. I got 10 letters so my books won't fail. There's no debt of jail or debt of prison. Collectors say, what is this? I say it's only business. With money at the treasury, I gotta go get it. Now I work up a copper boss, calling financial fit. Me and Kelly just did it. A chopper, she won't kid. Got silver, copper, gold, and debts, but we rich. Like they say, got milk. We say we got bread, come returning our debts into assets. Face on it, it's just like the garden God walked on it. Debt collectors, where are you? Gonna show yourself. We clean the debt one by one till there's no debt left. With the copper, the gold, my favorite is similar to the USPS. It's easy to deliver. This transmit utility, I know that you feeling me. When they steal my asset, don't you know that they stealing me? You better get yours up if you want them to feel you. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. I'm representing him with the gold that I want. A Birdman when he saw AJ Cole when he pumped. Just received the copper in my pocket, stick out like Willie Long. This rich tribe has come to show you how it's done. Maybe we'll collect the scare with all this bread. Hey, Kelly, where you at? You supposed to come in right there. You know I'm still your papa, I still can whoop you, right? You left me in the studio by myself. I'ma get you.
All right. Kings and queens clash your swords. Yeah. Let's clash them up, mash them up. You kings and queens already know.
100 kings and 100 queens?
Gonna. All right. Kings and queens. King Stevian checking in to give you pre-step 2 lesson, which is the silver registration. Now, before getting started, the silver registration is totally different from the silver certificate. So, while we're here, let's go over right now and we're going to look at the silver certificate. Okay, let's blow this up on the screen. All right, that is the front, well, I would say that's the back side of the silver certificate. If you see around here, this is where the silver will go around. Sometimes I just encrust it all in there. It's in the crown here. It's there. Okay? I don't mess around here around the root, the emerald, excuse me. And then you scroll down. This is the front side. And you have the silver that's encrusted in here, silver encrusted in there, in my arm sleeve, and in certain areas of the crown. Okay? This one is valued at $3 billion, but we have a special going right now because we had some that it wasn't damaged. What it is just the fact that my face is just a little darker than normal. I have a video showing y'all this, but the value is good. The value is there. And these are 1 billion. These are 1 billion. I think I'm doing them at 2 billion right now, as I did one King's earlier, and he ordered one. So congratulations to him. And these are on sale for $25 a piece. Normally they would be $50, but there are only like 8 or 10 of these left. So I suggest you jump on them. By the time a lot of you get this video, they're going to be off sale. So you would have to text me or email me at cityside2006@duck.com and ask, do I still have the special going for the silver certificate? Sometimes I'll run a special, and sometimes it might be, and when you hit me with that email, that'll be a reminder, hey, King, it's time to do a special on the silver certificates. And what that does is helps everybody out settle their debts for their entire bloodline with the birth certificates. If you don't know, the value of a birth certificate that they got a loan against you at birth was $1 billion to $3 billion. So you're going to need something that's somewhere from $1 billion to $3 billion to settle that debt. After this is not returned, then it's an IOU back to you from the state, and you sell that debt to the United States Treasury, and that's how you get your lawful money. Okay? Keep that in mind. So that's the difference between the silver certificate. Now going on to the silver registration. The silver registration is 1 quintillion. Now, let me go over here and show you the silver registration for those who don't know. This is your silver registration right here. This is the affidavit, certificated deed. Okay? That's what this is right here. Okay? So, just wanted to show you the difference in the two. Okay? So, we're going to move on to the class lesson that I have for y'all. Just want to break that down, let you know the special is on for those few that's left. We sold one today. It's 7 left. So if y'all want to jump on those at $25 a piece, if you don't, hey, you want to wait till they're $50 again, go right ahead. Okay? But now, this lesson here is for those that have just finished pre-step 1, which is durable power of attorney, Form 56, and 2848. Okay? Had all those certified, authenticated, notarized, stamped by the IRS, or faxed, or mailed, certified mail. We don't do registered mail, we do certified mail. Okay? Don't let no one fool you on that. Okay? And when you're dealing with the silver, mailing your stuff off, you do certified mail. A day later, full day later, you go on USPS.com and look for a tracking premium or tracking plus, and you extend it out for 10 years. Put the tracking number in, and you can pay anywhere from $6 to $9 to $10 to get that extended for 10 years. And what that means is you can always take them in court, proving that you settled the debt. Okay, but we're going to get into that. Can't go in too far in detail with it, but we got to go into this lesson. Okay, it says this lesson is to teach you as the living being on how to operate in trade with precious metal elements. Now, a lot of beings deal with silver. But they think that they have to mail the silver to the company. That's not how it works. Even with, in 2025 and 2026, dealing with the digital transformation, they don't expect you to give the full silver. From what I'm seeing is you're going to store that silver somewhere with a bank or maybe the state treasury, and then you will have credits issued on your driver's license or a card. Okay? From what we've been looking at already. So I'm quite sure it's not finalized because they already stated that it's not finalized in every state. I know in Florida they haven't finalized it. So it might change. Okay, so don't hold me on what I say here, but some of it you can because they haven't been finalized. Okay, doesn't mean it's not true because they stated it. Okay, so a lot of you know about silver, but you never knew how to act upon it or act with it. So I'm teaching you how this is done here. Okay, It says operate and trade because that's what it's about. When you're on your private land, you're doing trade directly. You're not using instruments as they use in the corporate world or the public world. In the private world, you just give the being your silver or gold, whatever equates to that silver or gold. Remember, it's your value on that. This is why a lot of beings ask, well, where do you get this value from? Well, on my land, in my tribe, I can put the value whatever I wanted at. It's like, and we'll give you a good example. China, Russia, United States, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, okay? They have different values on all types of things, okay? Tanzania can charge what they want on silver. They go in the mines, they dig it, they know the value, they know how much they had to pay their employees, they know how long and what they had to go through. Somebody fell off a mountain or something like that, and they might be being sued for that. So the value, we're not saying that that's going to base the value because someone died, but I'm just letting you know the risk that you have to take in order to make that, okay? But sure, some of you have this down packed already. Because when you're on your land, your value is your value. No one else can set that for you. That's why it's called private. Okay? So when you're operating in trade, you keep that value that you take from your land, and you let them know, hey, I want this back in lawful money or something equal to it. Okay? So it says precious metal elements. If you know, under the IRS, you can use precious metals, they're elements, they're called real estate, real property, okay, real property shares, different names like that is used by the IRS, and you can type that in online, just type in Internal Revenue Service or IRS precious metals, and you can read for days on that, okay? So let's go on. It says, before taking the quiz, all below has to be viewed on an appointment first. I had a king call me today, okay, and he had the nerve to try to get me to look at his silver registration before I looked at all the other stuff. I done made it very clear to everyone. I don't want to see your silver registration. I want to see what you have prepped, okay? Prepped before you send it out. Okay, all at once, okay, or what you have done, because some of these things you can get done before you have the silver registration. Your silver registration really supposed to be the last thing you have notarized, then authenticated, then you have one notarized, and then apostille. Two separate documents, okay? It's the same document, but it's two separate documents. Okay, because one has to go to the feds. And while that one is going to the feds, then you'll be using the one that's apostille, because that one comes back in 1 day to 1 week, excuse me. That's if you walk in the building. Okay, so first, the silver registration notarized and authenticated state and federal level. Okay, so the reason why I say that you can have it, now, you can have this reviewed without having the authentication. Just let y'all know. Okay, just fill it out. If you think that is not filled out right, then I can look at it along with everything else that's on this list. Okay? That's if you can get it done. But most of you are not going to be able to get it done. So this is the big, how can I say, big whammy to all of you. Start reading the documents. Start trusting in what it says on that document. Well, we're going to go through this document so you all know how to fill it out. So you won't have to come to me and say, look at my document to make sure it's filled out right before I take it to the notary or before I take it to the state. So you see? Because some of you are going to skim right over the video and not get the registration document template on how to fill it out. And some of you are just backwards with this. So I'm here today to show you it straight. Okay? So you got those two. Those are the first two things. proof of your silver Pyromet card. Okay? So what comes with the proof of the silver Pyromet card, you will get a receipt, invoice number, all that. You would take a picture of it, showing that you got it in the mail. I need to know that you got it, because some of you will order it, then you will cancel it out. Get your money back and say, oh, I ain't doing that. But see, here's the problem with that. Because what I'm going to have to see in the end, I'm going to have to see your barcode number engraved, not the barcode itself. And I'm about to get to that in a minute. The barcode number. It should say non-UCC number, and below that you put the 13-digit number. And this is why a lot of you move so fast, you just mess everything up. So those who went and got it done, I'm telling you, you need to have those words, non-UCC number, put the number sign, and then underneath that, you put the 13-digit barcode. That is it. Gray is engraved on that silver Pyromet card. That's how it's done. Okay? Number 4, settlement of the debt of the receipt from the Silver Co. Okay? What silver company is that? That's JM Bullion or moneymetals.com. Okay? jmbullion.com or moneymetals.com. Okay? Should be 1 troy ounce pure silver. Okay? Plus the newspaper ad. Okay? Now, this settlement also includes your 1099A, 1099B. If you don't know how to fill out 1099A, 1099B on the silver, please go watch the video, King Stevian 1099A. It'll show you how to do it. We went over this in the tax class. You should know. If you don't have the tax course, you need to order it for $325. You'll get 2 deeds with that. And then you'll also, I think right now it is valued, it might be $2 billion right now. Okay? But you got your 1099A, 1099B, your certificated deed of ownership, which you only get from me with a barcode, and you get your assignment deed with the 12-digit barcode in order to sign it back to the company to go to the Treasury and settle the debt. And then you have your 236 form. So you have your deeds according to the UCC, and then you got your 236 form. Okay? Filled out, notarized. Under the last tax filing class, I show y'all how to fill out the 236 form. So a lot of you will need that. Okay? I do have a form template on YouTube, and that one is called Silver Certificate Template and 236 template. And then you type in King Stevian and it'll come up. If you're not a member subscriber to the channel, I suggest you tender $29.99 and you'll be able to see that video. Okay? It's $29.99 a month, and you'll see all the 900 plus hidden videos that I have on YouTube. That's very important to you in order for you to settle your debts and get free. Okay? So number 5, we have proof of mailing. Received, it says to, but it's really by JM Bullion or Money Metals. Now what that means is proof that you settled the debt and you mailed all these things off. Okay? That's the certificate deed, the assignment deed, the 236, a copy of the 1099A, 1099B, their copy now, the recipient's copy. Okay, that's what you mail off. And it also says up here the newspaper ad. They don't get a copy of the newspaper ad. The newspaper ad is once you mail it off in the mail, you got your certificate from the post office that it was certified. Then you post it in the newspaper immediately for 1 day. And I got the template for that for those that need it. In the tax class, again, I went over the newspaper ad. So if you got a fellow king or queen that was in that tax class, they should already have it, and hopefully they can share it with you. Okay, that's if they want to. Okay, so that's your proof. Your receipt, if you go maybe 3 or 4 days later to check on USPS. It'll show you that it was delivered. What you're going to do is screenshot that. Once you put in that tracking number, it's going to show when you sent it, the day you sent it, and the day they received it. So you're going to screenshot both of those along with your certificate that you proof from the USPS, and put all 3 of those together, or it might be 2 sheets. Put 2 together because you're going to need that on step 6. Okay? Very important. The last thing before taking the quiz, you need to have your embosser ordered, plus a pic of that embosser that you received it. So you will emboss a piece of paper, and I would see it. Along with that, on that same piece of paper, you can put your ink stamp on that, because you have to show that, as it says, and same for the ink stamp. The ink stamp is for the principal. So if you had a student loan for $100,000, you would stamp that. It would say this debt has been settled in .999 pure silver, and then it would have the amount. You put $100,000. That's if that bill was for $100,000. You settle the entire contract. That's the principal that's returned for your straw man to use. Okay, going back to a straw man bank account. Now, the embosser is the one you're going to multiply the principal by 200, 300, 400, or 500. Why those numbers? Because whatever your tribe states that the value of $1 is to your tribe, then that's what you go by. So if your tribe says $200 for $1 US, then that's what it is. If you want to do it at 500, you can. Most real estate is done at 500, just to let y'all know. There have been some high as 700 reported to me by some people who had, what do you call those things, where they took their house. I can't even think right now. But foreclosures, excuse me. So those are the 6 things that you need to show me. Now, you might say, hey, King, I haven't done a certificate of deed. Well, you need to book an appointment on Tuesdays to get one done. Okay? You're going to put certificate of deed and assignment deed on the same sheet. Anytime y'all doing a certificate of deed of ownership, okay, this is what it's for. It's a deed of ownership. What you're going to do is also request the assignment deed. It's 2 barcodes, but certificate deed barcode is 13 digits. That's for international. Proven to the U.S., proven to the bill collector that you're what? That you are foreign to the United States and you are not a dead corporation. That's the importance of the 13-digit barcode. The importance of the 12 is you're coming back into commerce. You can't do business with the United States Treasury. They already showed us this unless you have that 12-digit number. Okay, they pointed that out to us. So you give them that 12-digit number, you're able to operate in commerce. If you look up what a 12-digit barcode is, it'll say it's a domestic barcode. Okay? And that's how that worked for the United States, for North America. So now you're operating. You might say, well, King, I'm operating with a certificate of deed. You know you're operating to get your lawful money back with that certificate of deed. That's the only way you're going to get it back, proving that you're foreign. Okay? You're assigning the barcode number to, because that's a derivative of your barcode, so you're giving it to the company. Because only they can deal with the corporate arena, not you. So you're assigning someone to do it. When they don't do it, that's when you have to buckle down and you go to the Treasury directly. Okay? Right? So, that's it on those things there. Just remember those 6 things. Okay? Are very important. Let's move on. It says, why the silver/copper registration? See, I threw copper up in there? Because some of you might want the copper. You can choose either one, but I suggest you get both. The copper is like, I think it's like $3 now, $3 or $4. Copper then went up, the little 1 troy ounce bar. The problem with the copper bar is you might have to get a real tiny engraving. So what I suggest you do is go to Etsy.com and look for 1 troy ounce copper circle. or copper square or copper plate, pure copper plate. Make sure it's 1 troy ounce, and you order that. It'll be a blank plate front and back. Okay? I have a round one, and I can use that one if I want to, but I'm using it for a necklace. Okay? The purpose of silver or copper is to prove your status being a living being. So see what y'all coming in the precepts, y'all coming in this thing, letting them know your status. Okay? A lot of beings say, okay, if you got to wait this long to go get your status correct. No. Sometimes you got to act upon it. But of course, you know you can't act upon this until you turned in your precept 1. Now this is precept 2 here. See? Status. You're perfecting your whole status throughout these 7 steps. Okay? Step 2 is where you're getting your banking numbers. Okay? So you can operate in commerce. Okay, it says only living beings. Move this over here a little bit. Only living beings can use natural resources, or as the IRS call it, elements of the earth, which fall under real estate. So if you notice, judges, good example, state attorneys, all of them, they use derivatives of their name. Why? Because they're operating as a corporation. This is why it says Judge Joe Brown, Judge Judy Booty, whatever. Because they're operating in commerce. Anytime you use your name as a derivative, you're operating in commerce. So those out there, the kings and queens who keep using an initial on their name, you're still the straw man you was when you came out your mother's womb. Stop using derivatives of your name. When you sign your name, if your last name is Johnson, it needs to be cursive with JOHNSON where you can see it clearly. Don't tell me that this is how you sign your name. It needs to be legible. The letters need to be legible. This is where they get y'all at. This is why they want a signature. They want to see, is the name different from the straw man name? And some of y'all fall for the hokey doke. Oh, my last name is John Joe Johnson. JOHN JOE Johnson, JOHNSON. Can you slow down? You must can't spell it. I had to think about what it said. Anyway, so John Joe Johnson. So if I sign that name in cursive, I'm going to make sure what I wrote in print is going to be seen in cursive as well. It's a shame that I have to sit here and tell y'all how to write, how to sign y'all names. There ain't no middle name. Your middle name belongs to your first name. So when the middle name box on any application, you never, ever put a middle name. It's always your first and middle in the first name box. Uppercase, lowercase. Skip the middle name box. Last name, same as what your mama gave you. Always. That married stuff, that ain't your name. That's your husband's or your wife's name. Some of you goddamn men taking on the woman's last name because she's the man in the dang on relationship. But anyway, we're going to go on. Elements of the earth which fall under real estate. You need to represent yourself as the living being. The living being is like when you got your live birth or your mama got the live birth. She stated your full name. You were the living being. The live birth represents the living being. What represents you are still living? A derivative? No, that ain't. That's called an assumed name, a fictitious name. Read 18 U.S.C. 1342 and you will find out. It says use your proper name. Okay? Some of y'all don't know how to write your name proper. Okay? But I understand. The scripture said, unless you're like one of these little ones, you'll never make it into heaven. Heaven on earth, silver, gold, copper, streets of gold, baby. which can be said real recognizes real. Once you have done your pre-step 1 with the IRS and killed off your birth state and Social Security Administration, when you're ready to handle your own affairs, so be ready if you're receiving any governmental assistance. This means you will go to the U.S. Department of the Treasury yourselves instead of the administrators doing so. Now, the first step is to give them the opportunity to go do it and cure. If they don't, they know that you're competent because you sent them these documents and then you moved on. They're fired. Most of them are going to be fired anyway, majority of them, once you turn your stuff into the IRS. Doing it for you. Having your own silver/copper means you can do like King Stevian further down on step 7 and create your own real money. See the difference between having the silver registration and the silver certificate? Okay? So, it says create your own money and put a value on it that is only less than the silver or copper you have registered. So what that means is you got 1 quintillion. If you got copper, you got 1 septillion. Okay? 1 septillion is a lot, way more than 1 quintillion. Why is copper more than silver? Because copper is more used than silver or gold. Okay? First is copper, then is gold. Gold is not more valuable than copper at all. Why? Because copper is mostly used in electricity outlets, like making Bitcoin, different digital currencies, okay? Your lights in your house run all through your home. King, what if my house solar? Still got copper in the solar panels. All in your car. Car won't even crank without it. See? So you'll need to understand that copper is way more valuable than silver or gold. Okay? Where were we? So, let's go up. It says, you are simply removing equity from the main registration. That's what you're doing. Shares. Let's put it that way, because a lot of you don't know what equity means. A lot of you think equity is this thing, oh, I got equity. I walked in court and I can't win in on equity. You or anyone else ain't never walked in no court with equity. And I'm going to tell you why. You don't go to court using these documents. And what equity do you have? Do you have a certificate of deed proving you have equity? If you don't walk in there with an ownership deed, you don't walk in there with an assignment deed with a barcode, foreign barcode on it. In order to receive your lawful money, you have to have a foreign barcode on it. Then a 236 Treasury form, okay, or 231, 232, or 233, we prefer the 236 because it's corporate. Okay? If you ain't walked in court with that and assigned someone to go to the treasury or the other party, most likely it's the other party, you need to serve them, have the sheriff or process server serve them with it, put it in the newspaper showing that you settled the debt. It's already settled once they receive it. You got your proof by the process server. Now you put it in the UCC for those who are on step 7, showing you gave them credit. If they fail to go to the treasury, guess what? Now they become a what? Debtor. This is why a lot of you become debtors on your credit reports, because you did not settle the debts. You're a creditor once because they gave you credits. But you was to reverse the role on them, make them a creditor because you gave them the credits to go to the treasury. They're supposed to settle it, return your lawful money. Lawful money credits. Because lawful money is not no physical money. It's the spirit of gold and silver. And you use those credits to go to the United States Department of the Treasury to get, with the U.S. Mint, of course, to get the real gold and silver. Okay? And they work hand in hand, along with Treasury Direct, by the way. Okay? So, don't think that you have equity already. If you don't have no proof, no certificate of deed, you don't have no equity in nothing. First of all, equity is only shares. You own the whole goddamn thing. Okay? You're giving shares. You remove them from your digital ledger that you get from me. You can donate at Cityside2006 at duck.com. Email me. That's where you email the receipt, but you go to paypal.me/SCT Estate Trust to tender a donation, and then that email address you show the receipt. Okay? So, once you have your deeds, now you give shares of equity. I can't give shares of no real estate, of no stock, unless I completely own it. When corporations like Amazon, Google put stuff on the stock exchange, it's because they own it outright. And what they're doing is they're issuing shares of ownership to the public. For those who know what an IPO is. Okay? If you don't know, you need to go look it up. Okay? So you're removing equity from the main registration to create a new one with the money you create. Okay? So you're not really creating a new registration, like, just starting all over, because what's going to happen is the value goes up. And this is what I mean by a new one. So every time you use it, you double what you had. The value goes up on. So it was 1 sextillion and you use 100 million. Now my ledger should read 1 quintillion plus the 100 million. Okay? So the value went up. It just keeps going up. Odds never go down. The only way it goes down, because remember, when someone owes you that 100 million, you're going to multiply that times the 500. And now you add that on, and now that value is sky high. You see? So if it ever just keeps dropping and never goes back up, you didn't handle your books correctly. Okay? So, it says, main create registration to create a new one with the money you create. So, when you give out shares of your silver or copper, there's a deed that comes with that you have to create for whoever you give that to. That's why you have the certificate deed proving that you own it, and then the assignment deed showing now that they have ownership shares in it. Okay? Same thing if you're going to do it with your son, your brother, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, your mom, your grandparents. Okay? All right? So once you get your Indian government and have your 9(8) registered in your foreign country, you are not under the jurisdiction of the U.S. anymore, so you are not involving yourself in any counterfeit money making. So you see why your status has to be corrected first with precept 1? Because if you haven't corrected your status first, then they're going to come get you for money counterfeiting. They're going to say, you're trying to be like us, making tender. But see, the thing right here is we're using real estate. That's what differs from the fiat. Fiat is not real estate, even though it's made with linen and cotton. Okay? Keep that in mind. I also want y'all to go look up what happened with that guy that made money, made his own money, right? And tried to sell it in the U.S. The problem with that is you're using fiat. Okay? You got to know how to handle that. Every dollar you get for the silver or copper, whatever you need to settle that debt, okay, report it. Because the IRS asks you on the 1041 on the last page, have you sold any digital assets? Okay? You might say, well, King, this is physical. But once you make a copy of that certificate you have, then that is digital. Okay? You should be putting things in your digital ledger. Okay? All right? All right. You will purchase your silver from Money Metals here. And if you have this form, you'll be able to click on this and you will see it. Okay? Just go to moneymetals.com. Know that these cards, okay, because it asks right here, how and where do you get the silver or copper? Okay? Know that these cards used to be $44. But due to the rise of precious metals, the total price is $74.61 now. Okay? So, and that's after tax, by the way. So it's like $60-some and it comes to 74. Okay, from what I've seen with one queen head. It says what type of silver or copper we get. You will get the 1 ounce silver pyromet card or a round 1 ounce blank copper circle bar. I told y'all that wouldn't. We ain't talking about the actual coin. We're talking about just a blank circle, 1 troy ounce. You can get that from Etsy.com. Okay? Why? Because you will need to get the 13-digit barcode number, not the barcode, engraved on it for the purpose of possible IRS audits. If the IRS ever came to audit y'all, they're going to say, well, where's this silver or copper that you're taking equity from? First thing you're going to show them is the ownership deed, showing that you own it. Then you're going to show them the precious metal. And lo and behold, wait for it. You look at the silver pyromet card or the copper bar or circle. Guess what it has on it? It has the barcode number, not the barcode. And I'm going to tell you why you do not ever put the barcode on your pyromet card or your copper bar. I told everyone this before, but this one king, a couple kings, was hard-headed. They went and put the barcode number on the goddamn silver. Let me tell you the problem with that. If you take the barcode on your silver registration and scan it with a barcode scanner, it's going to show you the barcode number. Go over to your pyromet card for which one of the idiots had this thing put on, scan that with the same barcode checker or scanner and watch what it gives you. The numbers ain't the same, and that's not your number, and the IRS will take your ass to prison because that's fraud. That's not the same number. And they're going to want to know, where is it? This is it. No, it got a different number on it. Even though you wrote the number on when they scan it, they're going to see it's not the same number. Those numbers don't match with the barcode. The number should match with the barcode should match with the barcode on your silver registration. So do not put the barcode on your silver or copper. The lengths of the barcodes are exact on the paper. So when someone tries to engrave it, you got this professional jeweler sitting here engraving stuff onto that pyromet card. He or she is not going to get that bar, those bars that go up and down, that's black and white. They're not going to get that right. And when you do a barcode scanner on the silver, it don't know the difference between black and white because the whole goddamn bar or circle is what? Silver or copper. It's no black and white. If you know anything about the numbers on the pyromet card on the barcode, you will know that this is like syntax. Okay? It's like I forgot what you call that when they back in the days when they was in the military and they used to when they send a message code that's coded, they're zeros and ones. All zeros and ones. And those zeros and ones make the number that you have on your pyromet card. Okay? To make a 6, you got to use zeros and ones. X amount of zeros and ones just to make a 6. X amount of zeros and ones or ones just to make a 1. This is what I mean. You have to understand this thing about the barcode. It's codes. It's data. It holds data. So that means none of your data on that card is on there. The data don't match the numbers. And that is wire fraud. They'll get you for financial fraud. Money laundering. Definitely that. I mean, I can go on and on. So get it redone, King. All right. It says why? Because you will need to get the 13-digit. Let's go back. What type of silver power met card, silver or copper we get? You will get the 1 ounce silver power met card or a round 1 ounce blank copper circle bar. Then I go into why. Because you will need to get the 13-digit barcode number, not the barcode, engraved on it for the purpose of possible IRS audits. This is your proof you are only using 1 piece of silver or copper to distribute to the public for debt settlements and money creation. Now, the money creation is not for the public. It's for the private. So let me correct you on that before you say, oh, man, you say you can create money for the public. No. It's for the private. Okay? All right. This is why I make sure every last one of y'all go correct your status. Because I don't want you coming at me and say, you sold it to me while I was public. Do we do a 1099-A on the silver copper we tender USD for? Yes. Once you receive your invoice in the mail, along with your silver or copper, your full price, including taxes, is your principal on the 1099-A. I just gave you your answer for the 1099-A now. You immediately get a EAN barcode done to acquire, accept, then to assign the debt. Okay? Send it back to the company, CFO, to have them return your lawful money. Fair market value. So that's when you look at fair market value, the FMV on 1099-A, that's what that means. With an invoice, whether it is times 200, 300, 400, or 500. Your choice. The fair market value is a market you control. That's why they call it fair market. What's fair in your market? Well, I'll tell you what's fair to my people. See? So y'all always talking about equity. Equity plays part on the 1099-A for those who did not know. Fair market value. What is equity? What is fair? What is equity? What is fair? What is the shares to my people on my land? My cousins, my nephews, my nieces. That's what's fair to them. Because we're part of one tribe. That's fair. Equal. Because we're a part of one tribe. No one is lesser. You come in our tribe, oh yeah, you're lesser. With your little dollar bills with Benjamin on there and Franklin on there and Abraham on there. Did you say Abraham? Yeah, Abraham, because he's reaching out and grabbing your ass. Anyway, fair market value is the market you control of your tribe and are operating just as if you came from Pakistan. The dollar value of anything is higher versus the U.S. value. And since the U.S. dollar has decreased enormously. Do we sell the debt we gave the company we purchased the silver or copper from? As explained above, yes. If you have not done a last tax filing, then this will be it for you. If you already did one, then you will have to wait until you get to the middle of step 2. There's a queen in our group. She's just trying to avoid that Social Security number. Every turn she gets, trying to dodge, trying to dodge. Listen, the more and more you run from it, the more and more your status ain't corrected. You got to exit the building like Michael Jordan wearing number 23 and re-enter wearing 45, gunning at their ass with that silver. Put them silver bullets in there, pop, 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 pop. Put them copper bullets in there, pop, 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 pop. And I'm talking about the silver certificates and gold certificates and whatever. Not talking about no violence here. I'm talking finance. So, is the process to settle this different from the other tax courses? No. It is the same as the last tax filing, except you can only use the social once, not twice. You will have to use the estate number. That means the rest of the time you use your state number, your WIFIT, your Indian tribal number. Those are the three numbers you'll be using. Okay? So back to the queen who tries so hard to avoid using the social. You're going to have to wait to step 2 now in order to do your last tax filing. You can't do anything else with any other number as a last tax filing. When you do a last tax filing, what that means is you're exiting the building and not going to be using it anymore. Like with your estate, you can only have it for 2 years. But once you're done with it, you'll do a last tax filing, then you go straight fully into the WIFIT or your Indian tribe. Okay? So keep that in mind. And again, you settle with your silver, your copper, and some of you have my gold certificates, and you can use those. You can use any of those instruments, any of those songs, and settle the debt. But this is when you want to be mainly in charge and get ready to make your own money in the end on step 6 and step 7. But before then, use any of the other songs that you may purchase off of Amazon. Go to it right now in the middle of this. For those who do not know, this track is called Folded. It is $1 billion right now, and it's only $9.49 for the album. It's a 2-track album. Y'all go purchase it. Email cityside2006@duck.com a copy of your purchase receipt, and then I will email you back this deed right here. As you see, it's valued at $1 billion for only $9. You can't beat that with a stick. Okay? Hey, I got $1 billion. You're rich. You're honestly rich. Because this is what you use to exchange. That's why it's called trade. Right? You're trading the debt in exchange, but you're selling the debt. They didn't go bring you back the lawful money, so now they owe you what you gave them. And the Treasury have to give it back because now it creates a debt, which creates an IOU, and you sell the IOU to the United States Department of the Treasury for those that did not know, and this is how you get your lawful money. Just gave you the whole game right there. This is how they get all of us. Okay? You didn't settle the debt when they sent you the bill. But they want to act dumb when you try to settle it. Okay? The 236 settles it all. You settled the debt on your own. Now they got to give you everything back. Okay? And this is how you do game, recognize game on them. Okay? But anyway, go to Amazon.com, purchase it. You can go to iTunes and do the same. Send it to cityside2006@duck.com. Copy that receipt, proving it. And make the title called Purchased Folded. Okay? A folded remix. Right? See the birth certificate right there? Got certificate of birth down there. It's called Folded. That's the purpose of the whole song. Okay? And this is the assignment deed right here. Okay? Where you assign it over. As y'all see right here, the debt amount being settled is paid is, boom, you put the amount right there. See? USPS 10-year tracking number. Boom, put it right there. Owned by who? That's you. Okay? Receipt number, that's the contract number. Borrowing company, that's their company. They borrowing your stuff. They have to return it. Got to be returned back to the principal. For those that don't know how this works, put your own notary here in your state where you are, date it, get it notarized in your first, middle, and last name. Don't do that derivative stuff, okay? Now, enough of that right there. Let's get back to where we was. Get back to the boogie, baby. Okay? So, as I was saying, it says, what can I settle with my registered silver or copper? You can settle anything and everything with your silver or copper, including your tribe's debts. Let's get this off here. This thing keep popping up. But you will not be using your membership to do this. The focus is on you and no one else. Okay? How do I know my silver copper is actually registered? The EAN UPC barcode, remember EAN is 13 digits, UPC is 12. Barcodes are assigned initially to the company that assigns them to you. And they can assign a barcode rather domestic or globally to a product. Now, for those that are new to the barcode thing, commerce in the United States cannot operate without a barcode. Okay? When it comes down to a service, now you're dealing with bartering. And it's hard to track that unless you have a deed. Now, here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. If you have a service company, like you cut grass, you put up sheetrock, something like that, when you look at your numbers on your licenses that you have, your bonds that you have, you got licensed and bonded. You look at that number to see if it's 12 digits or 13 digits. And this is where you will get your number from, where you will stem everything from. But the key to that is, and the problem with that is, the fact that it still belongs to the United States. Because they gave you the license, so they gave you a share of what they own. This is why they control your company. And a lot of you don't know that. This is why you want to own your own destiny. No one can tell me how to run something. It's like a record company. This is a great example. We're going to use 50 Cent for a second. 50 Cent had Get Rich or Die Trying. He wasn't in control. Dr. Dre wasn't in control. Eminem wasn't in control. You say, you're a lie, King. No, neither one was in control. Interscope and Universal was. Okay? Why? Because they controlled the barcode. They issued the barcode, so they issued the shares to the stores, to the artists, to anyone, even the record pools who received the record to promote it. Okay? That's why the record pools had to answer to the record company. They issued out shares of that record for free. But they had to work. So who's in control? The owner of the barcode. Unless they issue you a barcode and certify that you own it. Okay? For those that don't know, Russell Simmons, in order for him to get his first record deal, he used a universal barcode that was already used. He used it, and he started selling records with that barcode, and it started being tracked. Then they found out, and they came to him about it. So it's an easy way to get noticed. You use that barcode, boom, they're going to say, oh, well, who's this? We ain't selling none of these records here. How the hell is selling? See? All right, so the EAN UPC barcodes are assigned initially to the company that assigns them to you, and they can assign a barcode whether domestic or globally to a product. Your 1099As complement these when you acquire any debts or assets. So down on the account number side, there's a section on there that says account number. You will put your 12 or your 13-digit barcode number there. Or you can put your EAN number there. Because normally that number that's there, that account number, is a bank account. For those that don't know. Your account number with AT&T, T-Mobile, Comcast, Amazon, those are bank account numbers. When you read the general manual of the IRS, it will tell you this. Okay? Take control of the account. Show you that in another video. Okay? So, the numbers are kept in a database of the distributor with proof it was assigned to you, your company, or trust. This is called a transmission, which makes it a transmitting utility. So let me give you a good example. That was a guy that used AI bots to generate music. He put it on these digital sites, all the digital sites, and used AI bots to do SEO, to drive traffic to it, to make it play, and then he made $10 million off of it. They got him for wire fraud. They got him for a lot of stuff. I can't even name all of them, but everything dealing with wire fraud, anything dealing with money, they got him for. It was fraud. Okay? But you can look up the story. Just type in guy gets busted for using bots to make $10 million on Spotify, and it'll come up. Okay? It says, keep in mind that this is the private side and not the public. Only you can make these barcodes public by sending them through the USPS system as a transmitting utility. And also, when you post your public announcement in the newspaper that the debt was paid or settled. You do not register anything with the county because they will place a bond on you for the public debt. See Article 4, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, told y'all the county is a record company, and judicial proceedings of every other state. Since they are a record company, okay, they record your stuff, and they can take it straight to the Treasury of all debts. This is why they always file debts in the county, like when you file receipts. Okay? You're supposed to assign them. You're supposed to assign them to go to the Treasury for you when you filing anything in there with the 236 form. Okay? That's the court case, all that. That's how you settle it. And judicial proceedings of every other state. Full faith and credit. Meaning what's good in one state is good in the other. It's dealing with money and good with it being recognized in every state. Why? Because the dollar bill is good in every state. That's why you are doing an authentication on your silver registration so it can also be known and recognized in every single state. So you can do business with whoever, wherever they're located. Next, what can I buy, settle with my copper or silver? Well, you can settle anything. The elements are not used to buy anything. Okay? Settle, buy. Not the same. Buy is if I just walked up to a store, wanted a candy bar, Snicker bar, I give them my silver deed, I sign it to them, boom, and they give me whatever. And I walk away. Don't have to do nothing else. Don't expect nothing else. No. They just rob you, and that's what they do when you give them a dollar bill. That's a process. That's back and forth. They got to go do this, do that, stay in contact with you. First, you must make a tender, which is an obligation to pay or to perform. Perform. Actors, perform. You are acting. Every one of y'all is acting. You get a ticket from the police, they want you to pay or to perform. Perform, you're going to do whatever they tell you to do. You're acting. Under that straw man name, by the way, which ain't you. And this is where your silver or copper comes into play, which is called debt settlement. This is how the entire U.S. money system is set up since gold and silver were taken out of the market for payments. Can I get both silver and copper? Yes, you can. But remember, you must tend to $45 for each barcode registration. Okay? What is the value of the silver? The value of the silver is 1 quintillion based on the quantum theory dealing with bacteria and atoms of the elements that are in the precious metals. Living beings deal with real life, which again is real estate. Even though you have to use a microscope to see this tiny world, know that it exists with trillions of atoms in that one bar/card you have. And each one atom has a real estate value. Remember, Adam, Eve, Adam and Eve. You are the God of these in your creation. Because we are an imitation of God. We're creators. Okay? What is the value of the copper? The value of the copper is more than that of the silver, which is 1 septillion. This is because copper is mostly used in commerce to create Bitcoin, electricity, used in computers, and all electronics for currency. This is the most used and most popular transmitting utility and will be used on step 7 for your UCC1 birth state filing. Okay? So, it looks like that's it. So what we're going to do, we're going to go over to the actual registration. All right, welcome to part 2 of the silver registration. All right, so here at the top, you have official worldwide registration affidavit. Why are we using worldwide versus international? Well, worldwide is private and international is commerce. Anything with the national on the end is always commerce, commercial, okay? So, you're starting off in the private and then you go into the public, as I always say in everything. So, one thing with an affidavit, if it cannot be rebutted, then it means it stands as facts. And you know that. Okay, they got to rebut what you said on it. This has never happened with us on any of the instruments that we have, except only when they did not want to notarize or authenticate or apostille one. Okay, so going into it, you have the barcode here, and this is your 13-digit barcode. This is not the 12 digits. The 13 since it's private. 12 is public, which is for North America. Okay, 13 is for all around the globe, right? So the assigned date, normally you will put your birth date there, the date you were born. Why? Because you're going back non-proton to correct what your mother and your father did not do. Okay? Now, we have the registration of copyrighted tangible property. Okay, let me go back up here for a second. If you think your state is going to complain or hinder you about the date here, you just go with today's date that you signed this, and that would be good. But if you don't think that's going to happen, okay, you can go with that date that you was birthed. Okay? So, registration of copyrighted tangible property. Okay? So, this constitutes actual and constructive notice of the registration claim and protections for 1 troy ounce of silver, which carries the embedded non-UCC number, 13-digit barcode, and UPC number, 12-digit barcode. So when you get your barcode from me, you're going to have the 13-digit barcode, okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to take the 0 off the front, and you're just going to type that number right there, okay, for the 12. The 13-digit is as I gave it to you, okay? Now, also, look at the top where it says registration claim. So, this is a claim that has been registered. Also claiming that you have it. Okay? So, 31 USC 3727 clear as day says that you cannot do an assignment until a claim has been made. So an assignment is when you're assigning the silver over to the bill or debt collectors to settle the debt, okay? And that's only done after you put your claim in, and this is that claim, okay? So you always got to send a copy of this to any bill collector when you're doing an assignment, okay? So those who got the silver certificates, you already have your claim form. That's the one that goes straight up and down. The one that goes side to side like a dollar is the assignment. Because when you look at tender, it's side to side. You give it to them, okay? And now they're supposed to perform, but they never do. They expect you to do everything, okay? But it's already been assigned. It's already, the money already been claimed. This is why the IRS tax you, because you haven't gave it out. You have to show that you gave it out. Show that it went out. If you don't show that it went out and you're holding it in the public, then they come back and tax you. So taxes is for those who are holding the fiat. Okay? This is why a lot of superstars and athletes get taxed on what they have, because they haven't shown that they put it someplace else. That's why if you put it into, I'm talking about fiat right now, we're not talking about the silver, but if you put it into a fund, any type of fund, you go to Fidelity, you put it on their market fund in that account. While it's in that account and you're getting interest on it, they can't tax you on none of that money that gets sent over there. So if you got a job that pays you $50,000 a year and they send it all to Fidelity, all your checks are direct deposit, the IRS can never tax you on that $50,000. You show them that it went into a Fidelity account, a Fidelity Trust Fund. You got a basic account, it automatically goes into the Fidelity Trust Fund. Make sure you're signed up for that when you sign up for your account. Okay? As long as it sits there, you're gaining interest every day. Okay? They can't tax you on it. But anyway, moving on. An element created on, and that's the date you get this document, with all rights reserved. Okay? Now, you always hear the UCC 1-308. This is not the same thing. It's just saying your rights are reserved. These are your private rights. This is nothing dealing with public. When they say UCC 1-308, that is public, not private. Okay? Owned and held by, that's why it's comma, owned and held by. So it's stating the rights in this whole document. So how can you say UCC 1-308 if you haven't even shown a claim on anything? You can't even claim that. You can't claim any rights are reserved until you prove the rights. Okay? That's why you always hear these people telling themselves, oh, I got rights. For the benefit of your lowercase name, so this would be your colons. Got you. Show you what you put right there. You put that. First name, hyphen, lowercase, middle name. You know you got that again. Semicolons, period. That's how it goes. Your trust is your first, middle, and last. So let's put that there so you'll know. For benefit of your, and then that's private and or public, herein held in trust. Said common law, silver. It can be, well, we got one that's a copper, and the copper looks the same. Okay? Silver, 1 troy ounce, which carries the embedded non-UCC number, 13. You put the 13-digit barcode number there again, and UPC number, put your 12 digits there, will be used for payments to cover debts in trade, commerce, in both public and private. Okay, so 1 troy ounce of silver, which carries the embedded non-UCC number, 13-digit barcode, and UPC 12-digit barcode. Okay, those same numbers I told you up top. Has a value of 1 quintillion. Okay, lawful money. And to make this legal, so when you put it in the legal system, you have to have that word there, and then you have to have the numbers there. So it's quintillion, lawful money. Okay? And really lawful money, you should have the $ back here. to do that. Some of you are very technical. Okay. By unauthorized or non-approved individuals, parties, companies, kings, queens, states, nations, countries, towns, tribes, cities, estates, trusts, governments, or any type of person. The 1 troy ounce itself, described above, may not be used, printed, digitally, or physically duplicated, transmitted, displayed, neither in whole nor part, nor in any manner whatsoever, without the prior express written consent, acknowledgement of the trust name, goes there, that's first, middle, last, okay, with the word trust, its trustee, which is your king or queen name, okay, and you don't have to use the hyphens and all that there, because you might see that there. Just move that out of the way. Trustee, we're going to put king/queen. Okay? So y'all don't get confused. Okay? Or any of its first, second, or third licensees, licensors, appointed trustees, affiliates, interest holders, distributors, or publishers. Hereinafter, secured party with the intent of being contractually bound, any juristic person, as well as the agent of said juristic person, assents, consents, and agrees that neither said juristic person nor the agent of said juristic person shall display nor otherwise use in any manner the 1 troy ounce of silver which carries the embedded assigned non-UCC number, 13-digit barcode that carries the UPC number, and that's the 12-digit number. Okay, you got the 13 there again, the 12 right here. Okay, keep that in mind. Nor the common law registration ownership claim described herein, nor any derivative, variation, and or drawing and printing of the 1 troy ounce silver. So you see why you put it, the number on the actual piece of silver or copper? That's why. Which carries the embedded non-UCC number, 13-digit barcode. It don't say nothing about the barcode. It says the 13-digit barcode, which is the 13-digit number. Okay, we're not talking about the actual coded thing with the line. We're talking about the number. Okay, that's why it says 12-digit. 13 or the 12-digit. Okay, including and not limited to all visual derivatives, variations in looks, abbreviation, because remember, you can go to another country and they can change the numbers because they speak a different language. Okay? Upper/lowercase, rendering, drawing, and writing of above said 1 troy ounce. 1 troy silver ounce. Secured party neither assents, nor consents, nor agrees with, nor grants, nor implies any authorization for any unauthorized use of the above 1 troy ounce of silver, and all unauthorized use is strictly prohibited. Mutual assent, implied, and express contract executed by unauthorized use of secured party common law copyrighted registration property, self-executing security agreement, in event of unauthorized use of secured parties, common law, copyrighted, and registered property. Now keep in mind that this will go into your UCC as well. So that way you can distribute out credits to bill collectors. And if they don't perform, do you make them a debtor? You take them off as the creditor side, you put on the debtor side so it'll reflect, and then you give that to the Treasury along with the debt that they owe. Okay? So, it says, by the term, both the person and the agent of said person engaging in unauthorized use of copyrighted and registered property hereinafter, jointly referred to as the interloper, does assent, consent, and agree that any use of the 1 troy ounce of silver which carries the embedded non-UCC number, 13-digit barcode, except the authorized use as set above, constitutes unauthorized use. Unauthorized reproduction, copyright infringement, plagiarism, and counterfeiting of secured party common law copyrighted copyrighted and registered property is contractually binding upon said third-party interloper, securing an interest in said interloper's assets, land, and personal property for equal consideration and not less than $100 billion. So, they're giving them an amount that's max right there, okay? So, and it can be more. So, or more based on the estimated value of the secured element at the time of this notice. Remember I told you earlier on part 1 that the value goes up with each usage of it. So if they stole from you, they just brought the value up on that. So securing an interest in said interloper's assets, land, and personal property for equal consideration not less than $100 billion or more, based on the estimated value of the secured element at time of this notice. Viewing of this element, 1 troy ounce of silver, which carries the embedded non-UCC number 13-digit barcode that carries the UPC number 12-digit barcode. So you put those numbers in there, not the barcode. Some of you are going to ask, do I just stick the barcode in there? No. You put the number there. May be viewed online, the World Wide Web, attaching the UPC number. Any person claiming an adverse interest, challenging or rebutting the rights of the secured party may write to the trust in care of. Now, here's where you put your foreign address. Okay? And again, right here, you do it the same way I told you. This is the beneficiary name. Okay? Excuse me, not the beneficiary name. I take that back. This is your king name. This is the king name. King or queen name. And you do not spell it out anymore. We don't do that care of, spell it out, all that stuff there. No, you need to have a foreign address. Okay? Let's take this out right now. Some of you still going to be trying to go back and foreign 98 address. Okay? Non-domestic without USA. Trustee. Name there again. That is your king name. And it don't have to be Kenya, okay? But whatever address that your 98 is in, foreign address. And your notary, you will do this in your beneficiary name because you're signing the rights over to the trustee, okay? And if you need to change this around so that way it reflects your state's notary, then their specifications, do you need to do that? Right here, you need to triple click on this, and it'll come up where you can put the 98 number in there. The barcode number right in there. Okay? So those who need to know how to do that. Okay? And this is just a blank page here. Okay? You close that up, and you're all done. So this is end of the class, part 2. For the silver registration. Shalom, shalom.